Vice President Kamala Harris pressed on her past support of taxpayer-funded sex changes for inmates and illegal immigrants in her interview with Bret Baier. Here's the soundbite.
Are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law. And it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. Under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available.
The Trump aides say that he never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transition surgeries happened during his presidency.
Well, you got to take responsibility for what happened in your administration.
Former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard joins us with reaction. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
What is your reaction when you hear that soundbite?
It's one of the many examples of how Kamala Harris is lying to the American people and assuming that we're so stupid as just to believe her lies. We've seen the sound bites and the clips of her when she was advocating and patting herself on the back for the law changes that she brought about that would do this very thing, that would make sure that U.S. taxpayers are covering transgender surgeries for inmates. She advocated for the same for illegal immigrants coming across our border. She refuses to take responsibility and own up to her positions. If her views have changed, fine, people can change, but the American people deserve the respect enough to know exactly why she has changed. In that interview with Bret, there were a number of examples where she is lying about her past positions in order to try to create this new version of herself that she thinks will be more palatable to voters, and it's offensive in my view.
So this is such a neck-and-neck race. Every single vote, every single viewer, their vote will matter.
Yes.
And he pressed her on why, if he's so bad, why is he winning in the swing states? Listen to this.
Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening?
Listen,
Are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
They're so focused on that when they need to be focused on the economy. Everywhere we go, people say we can't afford groceries. They're worried about immigration, her immigration plan.
Yeah, it's an extension of what we've seen over the last 3.5 years from the Biden-Harris administration. People are continuing to be concerned about the high cost of living, and they remember how over this past term in office, they've patted themselves on the back, celebrating the success of Bidenomics and just saying, well, if the American people only knew how good we are and what a great job we did, then maybe we would be more popular. But ignoring the reality of the struggles that the American people are continuing to face and why so many of them want to see change. They need to see a better economy. They need to see secure borders. And again, if you get past the propaganda media and Kamala Harris's lies, this is where I think President Trump really has an opportunity because he is the change candidate in this election.
And what's interesting, this is probably the first time, I think, in my lifetime at least, where we know what he stands for because we had him for 4 years.
Exactly.
We know what she stands for. We had her for 3.5 years.
And that's the thing that I'm sharing with voters. I'm traveling across the country and sharing with them why I'm endorsing President Trump, but encouraging them, say, if you're undecided, if you have friends who are undecided, this is the first time we have a clear record. You don't have to just listen to rhetoric.
That's
we
true.
know exactly what kind of president both of them will be, and there's a huge contrast between the two.
Thank you so much for coming in and have fun at the Al Smith dinner tonight.
See you there.
Okay.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.